Hi guys, DLMGRAPHIX here, and I'm bringing you a Need for Speed Hot Pursuit inspired screensaver from my own creation. This took me absolutely forever to make. I don't think you'll see that through the long video. It's going to be about 22 minutes, but it's going to be one whole thing. It's going to take ages to render and everything, but so took me ages to create. Took me a long time to think about how I was going to do it. So if you could leave a nice comment and a like rating, and if you like my stuff, please do. It'll be very nice of you. I'll link all the textures and everything in the box below, and I hope you enjoy this tutorial. So let's start with a new blank canvas, and the first thing we're going to do is select Photoshop, and the first thing we're going to do is paint this black. Now that we've painted this black, we're going to create a new layer with it. On this new layer, we're going to go to add a layer style. We're going to go to pattern overlay, and we're going to select a pattern. I'm going to be using this checkered one, and you can make these yourself pretty easily. It's not too hard. So I'm going to select this scale bar, and I'm going to drag it down to about 7%. I'm then going to drag the opacity and pull it down to 3. Press OK, and I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to add a mask to this. We're going to go to the gradient tool, select radial, reverse, and we can select or unselect transparency, doesn't really matter. But I'm going to be using this type of gradient, a large white section and a small black bit. Press OK. Zoom out, select at the bottom center of our image, press shift, drag up to a small distance above the image, let go, and that's good. Now if you can't see, that's created a small vignette here where the mask has been taken away. It's been made invisible due to our mask layer here. Okay. So now I'm going to create a new group. I'm going to rename this group text. In this group, as you might have guessed, I'm going to add some text. Okay, so I'm going to go to my text tool down here, select white as my color, and I'm going to type in my name. This is the Batman Forever alternate font. It can be found on thefont.com, and I'll link this in the description below. So if we select even the text tool and the background layer with the move tool, and we align vertical and horizontal centers, we can make this in the middle. Now on our text layer, we're going to add a layer style again. Now on this layer style, we're going to add a outer glow. On the outer glow, we're going to change it to red, blue even. I'm going to set the blend mode to normal. The size even. Spread a bit up again to that, but we're going to reduce the opacity to about 24. You can see here it's giving us a blue aura to it, and that's going to help with the police hot pursuit theme we're going for. Right. Next up, we're going to go to the inner glow, and we're going to change this to red, and blend mode to normal, and we're going to leave it. Next up, we're going to go to the bevel and emboss. We're going to select chisel hard, and we're going to change the angle to the right hand side. So I'm just choosing a nice place to put it, and that looks okay because I want the light to be coming from the top right hand side. So if we have an angle of 42 degrees and an altitude of 26, this should be fine. Next up, we're going to add a gradient overlay. Now this gradient overlay is going to have a metallic feel to it, so I want to change this white here to a lighter grey. Press OK. Press OK, and we're good. Okay, now we're going to add in a texture, and I've got this brushed aluminium texture that was found on Google, and you can find it as well just by typing it brushed aluminium, or Americans say aluminum, I believe. And we're going to stretch this out by pressing Ctrl T, free transform, and dragging the little corner button. Okay, now we're going to press Command or Control and click the text layer. That's going to select the pixels within this, and we're going to hit the mask tool while selecting the brushed aluminium layer. Now that we've done that, we can rename this layer brushed aluminium. That's just to keep it organized. Now you can see that it's masked it to our text. We're going to change the blend mode to color dodge. Now I think that looks quite good, so I'm going to leave it there. So we can turn this text layer down now, and we've got other things to do. What else I want to do is I want to add a new layer. So I'm just going to duplicate the background layer, call it lens flare, and what I want to do with this is, you might have guessed, add a lens flare. So I'm going to go and move this lens flare above my background. We're going to go to Filter, Render, Lens Flare. We're going to be using a 50 to 300mm zoom lens. Brightness 100%, and that looks fine where it is. Maybe just move it in a bit. Press OK. We're then going to move this lens flare up to the top right hand corner, and we're going to change the blend style. Now we want to get rid of the black, so my guess is that we're going to have to go with lighten or screen, lighten. So I'm going to take the lighten lens flare type. Now you can see a bit of the black out here, but when we start playing with the image, that's going to be less noticeable. Okay, now we're going to add a new group, and we're going to call this light streaks. We're going to add a new layer. We're going to take the rectangular marquee tool, bring one out about the size of the text, use a white paintbrush that has 0% hardness and is small enough for use. So I'm going to just reduce the size of that. Now to do that, what I've just done here without taking the brush, right clicking or going up here, you just have to click the right bracket key, right or left square bracket key. Right, so we're going to press Shift, hold and drag left until that's filled. Press Ctrl or Command D to deselect this, and move it to the right now, and probably turn off the lens flare to see what we're doing properly. And we're going to use the smudge tool. We're going to take our smudge tool size down, and we're just going to drag it across. So I'm just going to be dragging this across, holding Shift, drag, Shift and drag. Until we get a nice trail at the end. We're going to touch that up, so we don't need to do it now. By the way, my strength was at 70%. Okay, so we're going to add a big ball at this end. So we're going to increase our hardness and increase our brush type size. And we're just going to click a dot. You might want to get a bigger dot there. So I'm just going to do that again. We're going to use the smudge tool again, and make sure that our brush size is about that of our ball. Click, Shift, and drag across. Oh, sorry guys. If we create a new layer and do that, that makes much more sense. So we're just going to click shift and drag across, and we're just going to keep doing that. Okay, now that that looks quite good, we're going to add a small layer mask to this. Use a black paint brush with 0% hardness and paint away everything that's different. So I'm going to select layer 1 because that's the bit that's falling through this, and as you can see, it now looks like a fireball bullet thing. Not sure what that is yet. We'll get back to you. So if we select these two layers after we've touched it up how we want, we're going to press Ctrl E and they're going to merge. With these, we're going to select a layer style, and we're going to go to outer glow. Now on our outer glow, we're going to keep the blend mode to screen, our opacity to 75, but we're going to change the color to red. Our spread is going to stay at 0, but the size is going to be increased to 21. Now for our inner glow, we're going to change the blend mode from screen to normal. We're going to change our opacity from 75 to about 55. We're going to change our color now from white to red. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself there. And we're going to increase the choke to about 8, but reduce the size to about 0. And as you can see, that creates a pretty snazzy lens fireball looking thing. If we press OK now, and then use our layer mask, large brush, 0% hardness, so casually brush up parts of this to make it more streaky. That's smaller now. And the great thing about having it on a layer mask is that not only can I undo, but I know that I'm never going to destroy my painting like I'm doing here. This isn't working. That's better. More very subtle. You want it to be very, very subtle. Okay. Now that that is done, we're going to put in our lens flare. So we're going to drag this line of light back. Oh God, don't want that bit there. Line of light back, and we're going to place it next to the lens flare, and we're going to duplicate it. On this one, we're going to just move it back a bit, and we're going to duplicate it one more time, move it into the center-ish, put the layer down, and change the colors from blue, red to blue even. So if we swap the layers about until we get the right sort of composition, and we can use our arrow keys to position them how we would like them to be. Okay, now that that's done, we can close the light streaks group, and we're going to add a new a background. This texture can be found on sxe.hue, and it's free. I'll link it in the description again, and we're just going to plonk it on top. We're going to select our blend mode to overlay, and we're going to select our text by pressing Command Control, clicking back on our layer, and we're just going to mask it. Now that's masked it to the text, so we're just going to press Control I to invert that selection and mask it to the background. Very easy. Now next up, we're going to add some light blue things. So I'm going to go to our elliptical tool, press Control Shift round, make a circle, and for all intents and purposes, we're going to fill it with blue and red. So this one's going to be a red one, and we're going to make a group for this. I'm going to call it circles. We can add a new circle one. Shift Alt drag out, and we can make that a blue. Now that that's done, we're just going to position these. New layer, fill it with blue. Now that that's done, we can position these how we want and change the blend modes. Multiply looks good, so we'll use multiply. So we just copy and paste these a couple of times. Increase the opacity of these. Okay, next up we're going to go to filter. With these selected, we're going to press Control E. We're going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. Blur these out to high, quite high, and then Filter, Blur, Motion Blur, and cancel that. I'm going to create a new layer. Filter, Blur, Motion Blur, and then do it. And now that that's done, we can play about with this. And I like that one today. So we're coming up to the end of this now, and we only need to add our smoke in. With our smoke, we're going to pull our smoke in, and that can be, this one can be found on mediamilitia.com. I'm going to resize this. Place it in our image. Stretch it out a bit. Press OK. Now we're going to set the blend mode to lighten. And then once again we can play about with this. I'm going to flip this across the vertical center. Place it on top. Select that. And then with the smudge tool I can just smudge it along to create a new wave. Okay, with this one we're going to add a adjustment layer to this. So we're going to go to Image, Adjustments, Hue Saturation, press Colorize. We want a blue kind of color. I'm going to saturate that. Bring the darkness, darkness down, and that's okay. Then we can just move this into position now. You can see that the smoke goes through the text and creates a really cool effect. Now that that's done, we're pretty much finished. Right guys, thanks for watching. That's been the tutorial. If you're still here, please leave a like rating. It means a lot to me. Spent a lot of time working on this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have something that you can use and you like. All stock here is linked in the description below for you. You probably found that already, otherwise you wouldn't possibly reach the end. If you like this stuff, please give it a like. If you've got a question, leave a comment, or if you just want to leave a comment, leave a comment. Up to you. If you like my stuff, I put stuff out weekly. It gives me a little bit of a buffer time to create something for you guys. It's pretty hard to make something every week for you. Well, that's new, creative, and that hasn't really been seen before. So yeah, I try my best. Thanks for watching, and peace out.